Are we recording audio? That was good. All right, this is episode 2 of We Deserve Each Other.
Yeah, We Deserve Each Other, me and Fritz.
Me and Fritz.
This will not be the name of the show.
We'll come up with a name one day. I'm calling it something old, something new.
But we're not doing that segment. We're just talking about Argylle. There's nothing old to compare to Argylle.
All right,
This is something entirely new.
So we said we were going to talk about Argylle last episode, and then yesterday we recorded an hour of us talking about Argylle.
Which, by the way, we didn't even get halfway through explaining the movie.
We did not get to the end, and then the files were corrupted.
Yeah, so we have to relive the nightmare.
So this movie, Argylle, is directed by Matthew Vaughn, who directed movies like The Kingsman. He did Kick-Ass, the first one. He did Layer Cake, which was kind of his first movie. And the X-Men movie, the good X-Men movie, the new, like, back-in-timey X-Men movies. But the thing that was important to remember about this was that the fight choreographer, his name is Brad Allen.
He's awesome.
And he started out doing Jackie Chan movies, and he died like 4 years ago when he was 48 years old. He did Wonder Woman. Yeah. He did the Kingsman movies. He did Shang-Chi. Yeah. He did
Scott Pilgrim.
Rush Hour, the Hellboy movies, the Guillermo del Toro Hellboy movies.
Hell yeah,
the fights are
incredible
awesome in those.
They're great.
Anyway, Argylle is friggin' terrible.
It's the worst. It's bad. It's really, really bad.
So I kind of want to just like speed run the plot of this movie because
you can do that.
Because
that's doable.
So here's the premise of the film. The movie starts, and Henry Cavill and John Cena and Dua Lipa, not DaBaby, Dua Lipa is
I wish DaBaby was in this movie. Dua Lipa with DaBaby.
I'm one of the greatest, ain't no debating on it.
I can't say Dua Lipa's name without saying
DaBaby.
Yep. It's a real problem I have.
It's a real problem.
And if someone else is Dua Lipa, I'm like, with DaBaby. Henry Cavill walks into like this absolutely, oh God, I can't speed run the plot of this movie.
You can't, no, I bet you I could.
No. Okay, let me just try the beginning. So, no, it's impossible because we have to explain the first part of this movie.
Because the first part of this movie is another movie. That's the thing. The first part of this movie is a short film. It's a whole other thing. It's a spy movie in the beginning with Henry Cavill and whatever, right? It's like they do the whole like chase scene and they do all the spy stuff, but then it's revealed that we're watching someone read a book, the author, and she writes these spy novels, this series called Argylle about Agent Argylle. But she's at like a press conference and someone is like, hey, your books have been predicting real world events. Are you a spy? And she's like, ha ha ha, no.
No, but she is.
She totally is.
And that's the rest of the movie.
And that's the movie. Is that she's like a spy and they like writes we need the next chapter, and so she like writes the chapters and like it predicts things and she does spy missions.
She had gotten amnesia. And this evil spy agency that she worked for, then
The Division.
Then like
is
using her to get them to tell where this silver bullet that will kill the Division is.
Yeah,
it's
which is like it's like
it's
like the MacGuffin of the movie. It's like all these secret files. It's literally in a silver bullet.
It's the knock list for Mission Impossible.
It is.
And so then they're trying to get her to remember where she put it and give it to them
via writing novels,
which are published to the frickin' world.
And also she is in chronological order remembering her like amnesia memories.
Her life.
Post-coma. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And the whole plot of the movie is the whole thing. It's like, oh, who is Agent Argylle? And it's like, it's totally her.
It's her, and they tell you right from the beginning it's her.
And her name is Agent Rachel Kyle, aka
Agent R. Kyle.
Which is real.
It's time for you to meet the real Agent Argylle.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So the beginning of this movie, Henry Cavill walks into like a giant empty room.
It's like a ballroom. Like being suave and it's like, care to dance?
Yeah.
Oh no, he says, do you know how to do the whirly bird?
Do you know how to do the whirly bird?
And she says,
do you even have to ask?
Do you do the whirly bird? Must you even ask?
So this is like book 5 of her series, and the spy agent
And this is the
Argylle,
end of it.
it's his trademark dance, is the whirlybird, which we
Whirlybird.
find out later because she actually does the whirlybird with Sam Rockwell during a gunfight.
Well, oh no, they do it as just a normal dance at first.
Oh, do they?
With the keeper, yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they do the whirlybird.
But then it's revealed that she knows it's Agent Argylle, and like she knows that he's after her.
Yeah.
And to which I have to mention this because this is such a good line. She says, "I guess the whirlybird doesn't catch the worm," which is a great line of dialogue.
I still almost spat out.
I
It's
know.
such a dumb movie.
It's the worst. That's one of the best lines in the whole thing.
And then, so then they're doing that, and then, but she knew he was a spy, but
he
knew
knew
she
she
knew. They run outside, and Ariana We Dem Boys,
Yes. Gets shot.
shout out to Wiz Khalifa.
Shout out to Wiz Khalifa, always on the show.
Ariana We Dem Boys get shot, because I can never say, the only way I can think about it, because it's like DeBois.
It's not Dubois, but it's DeBose. It's Ariana DeBose.
Okay,
yeah.
We Dem Boys
We dem bo-
get shot.
and like
Guys,
and presumably
guys,
dies,
guys.
but
Spoilers. She
she's
comes
alive.
back to life.
She's alive.
If we're not describing this movie well, if you like this, what you're saying doesn't make sense. One, you need to watch this movie for it to make sense. It's because every scene in this movie needs to have a twist.
There is, I think, by my count, 12 twists in this movie.
Every
12.
like sequence needs to end with a twist. Like, oh, like okay, her mom showed up to help take care of her. And then Bryan Cranston walks in. And you're like, oh, Bryan Cranston's the guy
He's the
who's
bad guy.
He's
He's
the
been
bad
bad
guy.
guy.
We already know he's the bad guy. What? He's her dad. And it's like every scene has a twist, and it doesn't need to.
In every scene, I said this both times we had to re-record stuff, but I stand by the fact that it's shot like a Saturday Night Live sketch because it literally every time a twist is revealed, they like slowly zoom in and it's like, what? And it's like it's ridiculous. It looks so stupid.
And they telegraph like half of the twist. So like
yeah, literally
like,
they reveal everything.
like he's
No,
like,
you
oh,
are.
I was gonna bring Agent We Dem Boys back from the dead
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the 6th book, and we're like, well, she's gonna come back
that
now.
Scene, that is my favorite point of like terrible foreshadowing is I wrote down oh my god, Kira is so alive and sent that email, I'm losing my mind. And that's what I wrote. We need to talk about why we wanted to watch this movie. The scene at the end.
Right.
The reason why Liston wanted to watch this movie is because at the very end there is a scene, we will talk about the smoke fight after.
Yeah.
But during the last maybe 10 minutes of this movie, there is an action sequence in which she remembers that she is a really good ice skater.
Like,
while the room is
really good.
the room is filling up. It's the whole floor is covered in oil, and then she proceeds to ice skate on oil
On oil.
in an action sequence that goes on for maybe 3 or 4 minutes of her like killing dudes while ice skating. It's just ridiculous. I like the shot where she whips around to where Sam Rockwell is hiding and then winks and there's like a bing and then she winks at the cat and the cat winks back and goes bing.
We haven't even talked about the cat.
Oh yeah, she's got a cat. And that's her whole thing in this movie is that she's got this cat.
She's a
named
cat
Alfie.
lady because she's a woman who doesn't go out or date men, so she hangs out with a cat.
The cat has no purpose here other than to be symbolism and also to have one
Yeah.
scene where it ruins everything.
Yeah, and Sam Rockwell is allergic to cats,
And hates
that's
them.
funny.
Yeah, and also, Agent Argylle hates cats.
She hates cats. She's a dog person.
She's a dog person.
But the new Agent Argylle, who's a good guy, likes cats. So there's a scene where she pretends to go bad with Bryan
yeah, with Bryan Cranston, it's like I don't care
I
about
don't
that cat.
care about
I'm a dog
cats.
person, and he like drops the cat bag, and it's like super intense.
Oh, and she's got blonde hair then.
In her Dua Lipa cosplay, lest we forget. I did write that on my notes as okay Dua Lipa cosplay. But her and Sam Rockwell in real life in the movie are dating.
Yes.
They're a thing. And I'm watching this, and the whole time I was like, does this mean that Henry Cavill and John Cena are like dating in this movie? Because that's what would make sense. But they aren't, and I don't know why they did that.
And so we talked about this. I think they probably thought that storyline would run parallel throughout the entire movie, and we would get
And it would be like
flashes of them.
And it would be like kind of funny. Like it'd be
And
like
it would
a
be
cheeky,
funny
a cheeky little joke because you don't
we
expect
would
them
see
to catch or
John
whatever.
Cena, like I think they would dance like past a mirror, and we would see John Cena and Agent Argylle dancing with each other, and then the scene where they kissed, we would see Agent Argylle.
And it's like kind of like cheeky, like, ooh, you didn't expect this.
Yeah, and it's
But
fun,
they don't.
But it's dumb. The whole movie
It's
is
really dumb. Right before the ice skate, the ice skating on oil scene, there's a whole sequence. It's like very Deadpool, where they're like they're fighting to like romantic music, and it's in slow motion, and there's like they're fighting in smoke and they're dancing, but they're like actually. It's not that thing where it's like, oh, let's dance fight, and it's like they're just like moving in rhythm. They're straight up like ballroom dancing. The shootout accompanied by romantic music and colorful smoke and dance fighting. God, I can't take this movie. And I said, all of the people don't. I also said, this is so insane, and we still haven't seen the ice skating yet.
The nerve of this movie to tease a sequel at the end.
Yes! Oh my god. That might be the worst part. That might be the worst part. Is at the end of the movie, it ends on like a cliffhanger sequel, which, by the way, Catherine O'Hara, earlier in the movie, says, you can't end it with a cliffhanger. That's a cop-out. And so I was like, this movie's going to end terribly.
Henry Cavill shows up, and she's like, do you have any more questions for me? And he stands up with a mullet, because he's got bad hair throughout this movie.
Terrible.
And he's like, no, but I think you might have some questions for me.
Yeah. He's Southern. I hate that he's Southern. And he's got a shirt that has like the Argylle like tagline on it, on the back of it. Like the bigger, the better the spy, the bigger the lie.
It's so bad.